Chris, as a student of philosophy, you might know where this is. I want to read an excerpt from something and see if maybe you guys can pick it out. I might call this person the very first deconstructionist, someone who demonstrated doubts. So I might read a paragraph or two, and we'll see if you guys can pick out where this is from. Several years have now passed since I first realized how numerous were the false opinions that in my youth I had taken to be true, and thus how doubtful were all those that I had subsequently built upon them. And thus I realized that once in my life I had to raze everything to the ground and begin again from the original foundations if I wanted to establish anything firm and lasting in the sciences. But the task seemed enormous, and I was waiting until I reached a point in my life that was so timely that no more suitable time for undertaking these plans of action would come to pass. For this reason, I procrastinated for so long. Boy, I sympathize with this guy. I procrastinated for so long that I would henceforth be at fault were I to waste the time that remains for carrying out the project by brooding over it. Accordingly, I have today suitably freed my mind of all cares, secured for myself a period of leisurely tranquility, and am withdrawing into solitude. At last I will apply myself earnestly and unreservedly to this general demolition of my opinions. So that's the opening paragraph. Chris, can you take a guess where this is from?
Is that Augustine? First, it sounds like maybe that or Descartes.
So this is René Descartes. This is his first meditation, published in 1641. I guess my comment to those who are deconstructing or struggling with doubt is, you're not alone. This is something that everybody does. And for those who have studied the history of Western philosophy, Descartes has this crisis of knowledge. Not so much a crisis of faith, like many people have, but it's a crisis of knowledge that when you look broadly speaking at Western civilization, people began to mistrust the church as that source of knowledge. And so you see with the project of modernity an attempt to reclaim certainty. And that's what you get with Descartes' meditations. And so he starts with deconstruction. He talks about raising it to the ground and building it from the original foundations, right? And he starts with that very basic premise, I think, therefore I am. And he just goes from there. Yeah. And it's a fascinating project. Some people like it more than others. We are not alone, even in our doubts. Unfortunately, sadly, the evangelical church, one critique I would say is there's little place for doubt, especially in the more conservative churches. There's no place for doubt. You're not allowed to seek out and to genuinely learn. And the sad thing is, it's like these churches don't even emphasize the great Christian tradition and point people to various authors who have dealt with these subjects. They just punt to Faithiism, right? You just have to believe without reason or evidence for believing.